everyone. Welcome back to my podcast / YouTube channel. If you haven't watched or listened to my previous episodes, I am Dr. Franny, and I'm here to talk about everything matchHHa, which is an app I created. I'm here to talk everything home health, everything healthcare worker, and everything health and wellness. I am co-founder and CEO of matchHHa. If you don't already know, matchHHa, which separated is matchHHa, is a mobile app that makes things way more convenient in the home health space. If a patient or a family member needs a nurse or a caregiver, all they have to do is open the app and see who matches their schedule and who is in their area. And again, the thing that differentiates us from any other platform in this realm is the fact that we also include home health and home care agencies in this process. I will always say home health and home care agencies are a crucial part of our healthcare economy. So on our platform, home health and home care agencies can become host agencies so that we can help them build their network of potential employees and find matches within their network of patients and clients. Also, we have a groundbreaking and innovative healthcare worker incentive program that we would love you healthcare workers to be a part of. If you'd like to know more, feel free to DM me, any of my social media platforms linked below, or just download and register on the app. Okay, so my question for you all is, do you ever just feel alone in this post-COVID era? It seems like this has been an ongoing sentiment after people were isolated from each other for so long, and even when getting back together, relationships just aren't the same as they used to be. Humans are communal beings, meaning that we thrive mostly in community and not as much being isolated. This is why everyone had such a hard time during the heights of COVID, because it just didn't feel natural. Even though taking those precautions could help stop the spread of the illness, we still had an innate instinct to just be around others and commune together. It's in our nature. So based off discussions that I constantly have with people, I came up with 3 main reasons why people tend to feel alone in this post-COVID era. The first is going through some type of schooling or courses, some course-based programs. The second is being a parent and having kids, or just being a kid. And the third is working or grinding, whether it's your career, side hustles, whatever it may be. These are the things that I am finding many people tend to struggle with, those subtle feelings of, do people really have my back? Can I rely on others? Can I talk to others about what I'm feeling? So let's delve into the first reason, which is going to school or taking some type of courses. You know, online courses were all the rage during this time. So when you think about this particular group, it's hard because now we're in a world where everything is remote and online, and yeah, these methods are so much easier and so much safer in some circumstances. But deep down, sometimes you just want that camaraderie with your fellow students to be in person and to know that you are in this together. I was lucky to have that when I completed my doctorate program, even though we couldn't have our graduation ceremony since the date was for May 2020, and we all know how that year went. But still, I was lucky to have the previous 2 years where we were able to be around each other and work together in person. And I see people like my husband, who is in his doctorate program now, and if you know who he is, you already know he thrives when he's around others. So being mostly remote is difficult, and yeah, you can talk to your classmates through chat and video and all that, but at times you just tend to feel like, do these people really have my back? Can I really rely on them? I know when I was in person at school, I loved being around my classmates, and it really felt like we could rely on each other just by being around each other's energies. Not only that, taking courses as an adult takes a lot of motivation and determination nowadays in order to just finish strong. So it can help to be around others who are doing the same thing and having the same trials to get through, so that you truly know that you have someone to talk to. Next, let's talk about us individuals and couples who have kids. If you don't already know, I'm a mom of 3. One is 5 years old, one is 3 years old, and one is a 7-month-old. So yeah, you can already imagine my household. One thing I realized being in the US with kids, or maybe it's just California, I don't know. But as far as I know, the US can tend to be isolating in itself to people with kids. Besides going to the park, maybe the beach, maybe a campground, you see how these are all outdoor, borderline impractical areas. But yeah, besides these places, there's not really many places where parents with young kids can come around with their kids and be able to enjoy with others. Because of this, parents tend to be isolated to where they are forced to do home-based activities. Also, in this post-COVID era, it gets pretty awkward at times when trying to connect with other people in your same situation, because now you have everyone having different opinions and ideologies, whether it's political or religious, or when it comes to how to keep people from getting sick. I'm just saying all the things that I've been hearing for the past 2 years. These thoughts can cause people with kids, especially young kids, to feel very lonely at times, especially when you aren't constantly around other people with kids. I know I've definitely felt this way at times. And then you add in the struggle of constantly having some obligation or something to take care of, while it seems like the rest of the world is having fun and enjoying and relaxing, and we're just over here stressed. Well, I'm curious to know, anyone out there, if you are a parent and have kids under 18, of course, do you feel like it can be lonely at times? Feel free to comment down below or DM me on one of my social media platforms. If you DM me, you can say, the Lonely Podcast brought you here. I love to hear your perspective on this matter. Next, I would say this is the reason that I have heard the most of why people tend to feel lonely nowadays, and it's because of working or grinding. It seems like more than ever that many people have a hustle mentality, and if you aren't working on 3 to 4 businesses at a time, then you are falling behind. And yes, this group does exist, but then there are also many people who don't want to be a part of that life at all. They just want to chill, live life, travel, enjoy, and thrive within their own being. I actually envy this group of people, because I am the first type that constantly has to be working on something and thinking about how to thrive in the business world, especially now that I pivoted to creating a startup company. And anyone who has a startup will tell you that, yeah, this can be a very lonely life. It just seems like more fun to be in a relaxed state and always be going out and having a good time with friends and family. But when you have that entrepreneur mindset, something in you just wants to solve problems and follow your passion to thrive in your business or businesses, which you may not always immediately find others with this same sentiment. I now get why people like going to Silicon Valley, because from what I hear, everyone up there has this entrepreneur mindset, which would be very comforting for people like me. I feel like in SoCal, it's the complete opposite, except for places like Santa Monica, where tech is on the come up. But I wouldn't say only entrepreneurs feel this sense of loneliness at times. I would say people with many responsibilities in general may feel like this, whether you are working multiple jobs to make ends meet, or if you have kids, and you have a career where it seems like something always needs to be done and you can barely take a breather. I feel like all of these are situations we can reflect on to see if we are feeling isolated or feeling like no one understands. So what can we do, or what can the people around us do to help prevent this feeling of being alone, feeling like no one understands our situations, feel like you can't really talk to others or reach out? Well, here are a few tips from a health and wellness perspective that may help. When it comes to online courses, try planning in-person meetups with classmates, even though the course may be remote. This can help to build those necessary relationships in a learning environment that can help you stay motivated to complete your goals within your program. Studies show that being in person can leave impressions and connections that are stronger and longer lasting. So that shows you that when you are in an online learning environment, it may not have that much of an impact on you, and the people you meet may not be in your life for long. But if you are able to counter those online sessions with in-person meetups, think of the possibilities that can happen with building relationships and just having an overall better experience. When it comes to parenting life and having kids, or being around kids all the time, the best thing that I've seen is to plan activities for your kids with kids their age, then meet and connect with those parents from those kids' activities. I realized even from just being involved with my daughter's school that it is much more comforting to talk with parents from her school and just to know that we are all going through the same thing. But besides school, there are also things like sports, dance, music, other group type extracurriculars you can try for your kids and see if you can connect with the parents there. Also, something that I really want to do is challenge businesses like movie theaters, gyms, restaurants, etc., to include childcare areas and staff in your business plans. I hear that countries in Europe do this already so that people with kids can have more opportunities to go out and enjoy with others. I don't think it is too far-fetched to add this element. So when it comes to our last situation, which includes those who feel that they are constantly working and grinding, what I see that helps is communing with those who are in similar situations. For instance, if you have a startup company, there are many startup groups you can join, like Y Combinator or Pioneer, where you can give updates to your startup and also communicate with many people who are in the same situation as you. Also, if you can, going to startup meetups and conferences can help. When I went to a conference recently, which I talk about in my last episode, if you want to go back and watch. But yeah, there I met a few people that I'm really glad to have met, and it made me feel like, wow, there are others who are literally doing the exact same thing as me. And it's very comforting. It's a very comforting feeling. If you are in a situation where you are constantly working and grinding just in your daily life, I would say to focus on building relationships for your rest times. It will be great to even set an intentionality around rest and find a community that can be like a rest accountability group where you intentionally plan rejuvenating activities and vacations. This can help with having things to look forward to and having people who you know are going to be there to make sure you are playing hard as much as you are working hard. Surprisingly, one thing that has helped me in my personal life with having these thoughts of being alone was YouTube. I will admit that I was not a fan of YouTube before because I was definitely being extra judgy and assuming that people filming about themselves and talking about themselves all day cannot be good for a society. But let's just say I was completely wrong, because when I had those feelings of being alone, YouTube ultimately was my saving grace. Just being able to find people who are in your exact situation and doing the hard work of showcasing your life for others to be inspired. And I see now that YouTube is very hard work. I give all YouTubers kudos for everything that you do, and it inspired me to follow in your footsteps and be vulnerable to share my thoughts and experiences in case someone in a similar situation needs to hear it, both YouTube and podcast. And we need more. I definitely encourage you, if you have the bandwidth to do it, get on YouTube and inspire. We all need it. Okay, now I'd like to talk about what matchHHa is doing for healthcare workers that can help with these feelings of being alone also. The home health and home care fields can be definitely lonely for healthcare workers, since it is not like they are in a facility with other workers or colleagues. Essentially, as a healthcare worker, you're going to a patient or client's home by yourself and have to deal with many different work situations by yourself. This is why we are building a matchHHa community for healthcare workers to be a part of a collective of other healthcare workers who see clients in their homes, and by registering on the matchHHa app and finding a client match on the platform, you will instantly have access to the community and all of the benefits offered. We are offering things like cash bonuses, benefits in the form of NFTs, and again, be sure to subscribe because we will have a future episode talking about NFTs and how we are changing the game with Web 3.0 to help support healthcare workers and give ownership in the service you are providing in clients' homes. But yes, we will be giving benefits in the form of NFTs. We will be organizing community events like volunteer events, networking events, health and wellness events. And yes, every state where we have users, we will be aiming to plan events in your state as well. And we will also have virtual events to join. Our main goal is to just create a work experience where healthcare workers come first and where healthcare workers can be truly proud of the service that they provide. We will also be providing free health and wellness courses, continuing education courses, and rolling out many more things gradually. So yeah, it's an exciting time and we would love for you to join. I provided the links below if you would like to register, and again, feel free to comment or DM me on any platform if you have any thoughts, questions, or insights. We would love to see them all. And in a world where it's so easy to feel alone, regardless of all the technology that is out there, all of the mediums we have to reach out to others, to post our lives and get feedback, we have all of these methods of communication, but somehow many people still feel a sense of loneliness and feel like others may not understand or even want to discuss their situations. Well, we at matchHHa are here to tell you that you are not alone in this, and we are striving to inspire and encourage others to build communities that can provide opportunities for people to reach out to each other, make connections, and live life knowing that there are people that care to see everyone thriving. That being said, thank you so much for listening to episode 3 of my podcast discussing feelings of being alone. I hope you all can join me on our mission to provide services to our home health communities in need. Be sure to like and subscribe, which can help get the mission out there and help our communities in need be that much closer to getting the services that they deserve. Again, I have our social media accounts below, as well as the social medias for the matchHHa app, so you can follow up on these platforms, get quick updates, and see our short informational videos. Now that you have reached the end of the episode, you should know that I will always be leaving you off with a mindfulness practice. Just because that is my background, I'm a holistic nurse studying to be a yoga teacher, and I just know how important it is to have a mindfulness practice. Even if it's just for 5 minutes at a time, it's great for your mental health, just to get your mind centered, whether you want to pray or repeat a mantra or just listen to calming music, or if you just don't want to think of anything at all. These mindful moments tend to help with just being able to tackle the day and remain resilient and live your best life. And this particular one can help with that anxious feeling of being alone. Okay guys, until next time, enjoy! Alright everyone, thanks for joining me again. Feel free to take a seat wherever you are, or if you prefer to stand, that's perfectly okay. Let's start by taking a nice, deep, cleansing breath. Try to relax your face, your cheek muscles, your lips, your jaw. You can close your eyes or leave them open. Forget about any activities you have going on today, activities you have already experienced, anything you have coming up. Just try to be in the here and now. Be aware of any surface you are sitting on or standing on. Feel the energy of that surface. Know that this surface represents a grounding energy. Know that this grounding energy represents all of the support you have, your foundation, the people who have your back. The fact that you are listening now shows that you have a community behind you. Feel that grounding energy travel up through your body. Imagine that energy releasing any fears that you may have. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. As you release each breath, imagine your fears calmly rolling away as you breathe them away. Be aware of your chest rising up and down as you take each breath. Feel the loving energy at your heart and know that represents an unconditional love. Know that this unconditional love never leaves this earth. It is only transferred. As you continue to focus on your breathing in and out, let this unconditional loving energy take hold as you imagine everyone you interact with in life, whether it's family, friends, co-workers, grocery store workers, or even people you pass on the street. Know that as long as you feel this unconditional love, you are capable of transferring this love to others. Remember that the more you transfer this loving energy to others, the energy will transfer right back to you. Invite that energy with open arms and let that loving energy take over all of your interactions. This energy helps us to realize that we are not alone as long as we continue to the processes of feeling and transferring. Take a final deep breath, and at your own pace, slowly start to move hands and feet. Slowly start to be aware of the room and back into your mindful moment with Dr. Franny.